Hello, everybody. Welcome to Shoot the Shit. Today, we're talking about the new game Saros. Is that how you pronounce it, Ben?
Saros. I don't know.
Saros.
Saros,
Yes.
Saros. One of the two, sure.
And this is a third-person rogue-like shooter. For people who don't know, what is a rogue-like? What does that mean?
I guess it's you go on like what's called a path or a run, and
Mhm.
then if you die and you can't do it, you restart from your what's called a hub. So your main base is what I'd call that.
Do you start
So
all the way at the beginning, or are there checkpoints?
so in this one, they call it biomes. So if you
Okay.
clear a biome, so it's very linear, but with some side paths, right? That's how you get some more loot, and we get over that. We can get into that later. And you clear out area section by section, and then that's how you progress your guy to get a little stronger, get some new guns, get some new sort of like buffs to your to your armor enhancement stuff, which we will get into. And then you get to a boss at the end, and that's the sort of like checkpoint area. If you don't kill
Okay.
him though, you will get reset.
Okay.
However, I'd say each biome, if you're quick, like 15 or 20 minutes, maybe
I'm
plus.
I'm watching some gameplay right now, and it
Mm-hmm.
kind of looks like a combination of it kind of looks like Elden Ring a little bit, like a future sci-fi Elden Ring, and then Doom a little bit, and a
Yeah.
bit of like, did you ever play Mass Effect back in the
Yeah, I
day?
did. I did. I did.
A little Mass Effect.
Yeah.
So, okay, so you play and it only is this one run, right? And you have to make it to the end.
Yeah. So with the story, and I don't want to go into
Sure.
too much, it's a mind fuck. It's extremely psychologically like,
It's like cosmic horror, right?
yeah, cosmic horror. The some of the shots are brilliant. Again, Housemarque did this. They did Returnal back in the day. Very similar. Sort of like a spiritual sequel, has no relation in terms of story, but really famous actor. At least I think he's famous. He's been in Mike Flanagan's horror stuff, Midnight Mass, and Haunting a Hill House on Netflix, and all that.
That's
Raul
right.
Coley, very good. He did a fantastic job, and it is him full through and through. Did it. He loved doing it. He would love to do it again. So you just start off as this guy on this planet, and it's right away. They don't really. You go to your little tutorial area, and then you get to the main hub pretty quickly, and they show you how to play as you go on. And you are there as Echelon number 4. There were 3 Echelon groups before you coming to this planet to harvest, of course, a resource called Lucenite, which would make on Earth about $3.5 trillion a year. That's how
Okay.
valuable the resource was. And shockingly enough, there's alien creatures on the planet.
I'm shocked
Wow.
by this.
Shocking, right? So then it very quickly spirals out of control. Very quickly it turns into, is any of what I just did real? Is anything going on
Oh,
real?
interesting.
You talk to people at your main base. All of a sudden they're sort of like a little fucked in the head. Like I talked to this one guy, and I don't even think he existed the entire time I was talking to him. All of a sudden he was just like, oh, this is all I think in his head, and the aliens completely dig inside your brain and really turn
Oh,
everybody.
nice.
So they were all gone, all the colonists. That's why you were there as Echelon 4, as an emergency group, and you as Raul Coley were there because, of course, who was on Echelon? I think was it 2 or 1 or 2 was your wife or your girlfriend. That was, of course.
Naturally.
So he goes on this entire quest solo completely to eliminate the threat and find his girlfriend slash wife, who they left on very bad terms, as you will find out. And that's it. I'm not going to
Okay.
spoil the ending. The ending was very cool. Apparently you get the bad ending first, and then you replay it, and you can change your ending, and you get the good one. I don't know what that is yet. I am not sure because I have
So
not
it
gotten
kind
there.
of there's an incentive to play it twice.
No, no, no. So the epilogue, you don't play it through it twice. You kind of go back to some of the areas again,
Uh-huh.
and then you sort of see a little bit more of. Well, I think he got played basically the entire time, the entire game. I don't think any of this was really real. Going into the gameplay mechanics now, though, that's the story. That's all I want to tell the story because I thought it was really cool, but not really the gripping point. I think it was way more the gameplay. And roguelites
Sure.
is really tough to get right, Josh. Really hard because it's just
Why?
repetition over and over and
Sure.
over again. So how do we keep it fresh? How do we keep it? So okay, a story. Okay, let's do the best we can. Let's just go psychological. Love that. But how do we do it? Okay, let's get different gun types, different gun variants, right? So you have hand
Okay.
cannons, shotguns, a crossbow, really cool. And then you have what's called a chakram, which is like a chainsaw. And then you have assault rifles,
That's so
tactical rifles.
Doom.
Yeah. So really, really cool. I think there's 15 different weapons, 5 like main weapons, and then 3 variants with each one. So you have shotgun that could be more sort of explosive and like bombastic. And with all of them, it's very simple. You sort of just hold down the right trigger for most of them, except I think for a hand cannon, and then eliminate what's in front of you. That's it. No, like, as easy as possible. And you just keep progressing.
Biomes. Yeah.
Correct. That's all it is. And
how long is the whole game?
I would say now, since I beat it in about 15 hours.
That's it.
Yeah, that's about it.
And what's the price for this game right now?
So it's $70 because it's a PS5 exclusive. It's Sony did it. No PC, no Xbox got this.
Yeah, that's still too pricey for a game like
It
this.
is. So after playing it, I'd give it a 9, and we'll get into it. But I would say
that short of a game.
50. So for me, length doesn't like Resident Evil Requiem, which we'll talk about, was 10 hours, and that's a 10 out of 10. It was a 10 out of 10 game. I spent $70, but it was incredibly done. For me, length, I could play the most boring game for 50 hours. So give me a game. I'm addicted to Saros right now. I'm almost done, but it took me a week, and I loved it. I loved every second of it. That's a game for me. I can't put it down.
Yeah,
I want to go on another run.
Right.
I want to do this.
My issue is that that's a lot of money for this sort of a short game like this. Like I could see this being 50, 70.
I would say
seems a little steep.
$50 would be a good price for a game like this. I think nothing lower or higher than 50.
The only game I've really played similar to this or this sort of style is God of War Ragnarok had a DLC called Valhalla, and they did something similar to this where you just go over and over again and through these different levels. I don't know if you played it.
Yeah, I did. I did all of that. It was really good.
Fun.
It was. This is 10 times better.
Bucks?
Yeah, it was $20. This is 10 times better, though. Like, yeah, infinitely better than that. And I played that and I enjoyed it. And I'm not a fan of roguelites, by the way. I don't like that repetition. This hooked me. I thought it was so cool going on a run.
What is it? The gameplay
yeah, it's extremely smooth. Everything was so responsive. So there is no sprint button. You just move. You just move, and quick. You just move that quick all the time. And where it comes in is your dash. You dash, and the dash is, I think, a second cooldown, maybe second or 2 max.
It's real fast.
Real quick. And so the enemies, there's a plethora of different enemies and species and what they do, which is really cool. All have a data bank you can read up on them, which I do enjoy. The more you kill them, the more you learn. So you can read more about them, which I do like.
Do they have weaknesses, or can you just or do you just shoot them?
Yeah, so with the guns, you can just shoot your gun. If you go halfway on the left trigger to zoom in, it's an alternate fire ability. So you start with a pistol 3-round burst, and no ammo capacity, by the way, infinite ammo on every single gun. Every single gun.
Amazing.
You don't need to, because that's not what they wanted to focus on. So if I held down halfway, yes, and I'll get to that. So you have to reload. You could do a perfect reload. So it auto reloads, but if you press the left trigger, I believe it is, or bumper.
I'm seeing him do that right now.
And if you press it, you get a perfect reload, and you keep shooting right away, which is huge, which is a big deal, because you want to keep shooting, because you can get overrun really quickly and you could die pretty quickly, but also you're really strong in the game.
Yeah, so I'm seeing criticism that it's too easy.
I unfortunately it was a joke. That's my only reason, and one of the biggest reasons why it's a 9. Maybe even if you're too critical, it goes down to an 8. It's way too easy. I beat the entire game. I died 5 or 6 times. That was it. So
Really?
yeah, that
Okay.
was it. That was
So
it.
it's super. Yeah, that's very easy.
Yeah, and you can do modifiers, which we'll get into, but yeah. So you hold it down halfway, and with the 3 round burst, if I held it, I would just do a huge rapid fire and shoot everything out. With like an AR, if I did that, it would like shoot slow and then speed up, and so you could do an alt fire. So you can do regular shooting or an alt fire. And if you hold left trigger down all the way, you have a super cool power up that you shoot out of your hand. 4 different ones.
Okay.
You shoot and it's a huge explosion. You can do like a laser beam, or you can do a bunch of like blue orbs that come out to like weaken them, and their defense is down, so they die faster. And there's one more that I haven't really messed with too much. So those are the 4 you can do with that. How you do that is you have to get power, and power is basically just by killing enemies. So you have 3 different. I mean, it's command, focus, and intelligence, I believe. So intelligence is, I think, your overall health. Your command is you have a shield you can put up that absorbs projectiles. And then your focus is how much leucinite, which I'll get there, is the currency you get in the game. So if you die, you come back to base and you lose at the start, you lose half of your stuff. So you lose, there's 2 currencies in the game, the leucinite, which is why you're there in the first place. And when it's, I can't pronounce Halison, it's like a purple thing, Halison, something like that. And so you go up to what's called primary. That's Soltari is the company, like Wayland Yutani in the Alien franchise that sends them.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
They,
yeah.
they are the company that you are technically they're working for, even though Raoud Kohli, whose name is Arjun in the game, doesn't give a shit. He's like, I don't care. Like, I want to go find the colonists. I don't care about your stupid resource. Like, fuck
Yeah,
you.
sure. I mean, he's looking for his wife, right?
Yeah, or I think it's wife, or they don't really say, which I enjoy. It's all up to interpretation.
Nice. Okay.
Especially the ending, you're like, whoa, that was cool.
Okay.
So you go and talk to him, and there's just so many upgrades, and they're all permanent. So you get Leucinite, which is, the base thing. Every enemy drops them. And the first upgrade is just leveling up your health or your shield, or you get more Leucinite, right? And then as you go, it just spirals out of control at the top. And you can get more like, hey, Leucinite stays on the ground longer, so it doesn't go away, because it goes away if you don't go over, which you have to think about while
Okay.
also fighting. If you don't go over their dead body, you don't get their money. You don't get the money. So you're like, oh shit. See, that's why you have to constantly be going around the battlefield and trying to pick up and move all over to pick up all their stuff and watch your health at the same time. So they have all those really cool upgrades. However, which is great, because if you died, you're like, I'm not powerful enough. I go back and I level up. And there's also another level up. Hey, I lose less money on death. So there's stuff like that. So I think right now, I only lose like 20% coming back. So you just become busted, at the end, like broken
Sure.
beyond belief. As you play, you get your proficiency level at the bottom left, I think next to your health bar, starts to go up. And that's how you can get better equipment and better guns on a run. So as it levels up, you can destroy these little, I guess, like blue, yellow, and sort of like red sort of bricks, and they can like either buff your stats, or you can get a gun out of it. And any of the guns that I mentioned, the 15 guns, that's usually in blue ones and red ones, and then in yellow ones you can get what I talked about. You're like the shooting out of your arm, one of those, and it shows you all the stats. So there's a gun that it could be really powerful, but there's no auto hitting. Also, there's auto hitting. There's lock on, so you don't even have to aim. I found a gun
Interesting. Okay.
that just I didn't even have to do anything. I just melted everybody. It just
You,
auto hit.
you know what
So
this game reminds me of a little bit? It reminds me of like games that came out about 20 years ago.
yeah,
Like it
something like that.
feels like an older type of game. I mean, you and I were discussing. I mean, we recorded the Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 episode this week, and I mean that game is 100, 120, maybe even 150 hours. You could dump
Yeah,
into it if you really wanted to.
yeah,
And we also talked about Crimson Desert, and people are talking that Crimson Desert's a potential 200 to 300, which is just nuts. So in a way, it's nice to have a game like this where it's only, what'd you say, 15?
Yeah,
I'm
so I'm
looking
at
on
15. I'll probably
I'm
only
looking
play
on
another
YouTube.
5 or 10.
I'm
Yeah.
looking on YouTube right now. Of course, on YouTube, it has the full game on it as one video already,
Sure.
and it's 8 hours long.
Yeah,
So the guy
that's
did
about
it
it.
in 8 hours. So again, I mean, I think I will play this. It looks like a lot of fun, but I can't do the price for something that's not
Yeah,
that long.
I mean, they were, I think, able to add another to make it 70 because it was an exclusive. I think they were just,
Sure.
hey, I'm allowed to do this. It's Sony. It's whatever because it was just
Yeah,
Sony
I mean they
Studios.
can, but also, there are people who will buy the game
I
and
was.
then
I loved it.
and then
I bought it.
I know, and then there are plenty of people who will buy it, and then there are going to be people who are going to say, "Oh, I'm going to wait." So like Sony can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
They can
Yeah, they
take
can do
their
whatever they want.
time, and then in a month or in 2 months they can lower the price.
Yeah, they'll cut it
And
probably in the summer by like 20 or 30%. And then probably in the fall, in the winter, it'll be well over half off, which it really depends on what you're looking for. I loved it. I'm almost done. It took me a week. It came out 6 days ago, and I'm already done. I really enjoyed it though. I thought it was a really fun game. I was a little worried. Yeah, the difficulty's a little easier, but I was also pretty good at it, and I really
sure,
enjoyed it. So
well,
again,
I'm
if
looking at this gameplay. It does look pretty easy.
it is easy. The enemies are pretty like they're pretty easy to kill, especially if you go on a run and start. So you can start at the first biome if you want, and you can just go all the way through the game if you want. And that's how you can level up more, especially if you're successful. If you successfully complete a run, by the way, you keep everything, and then you go
So
back and can upgrade even more.
explain to me what happens at an end of a run. What happens at the end of
So you can
that?
choose.
What do you do?
Obviously, you can choose after the first boss fight, you open up the next area, and that's how you continue with the story progression, right? But for me, I
Okay,
decided let me just go start to finish and go as long as I can. And you just go as long as you can. And I made it because I got unbelievably powerful because as I'm playing, I'm getting more power, right? I'm getting more
sure.
proficiency in what I'm doing. And then
So it
I just,
encourages you to do the other biomes.
yeah. And then, so in each biome, though, there's text logs and audio logs to kind of show what's going on as well to people in the game, and you can listen to it. So there's that sort of exploration if you want. You don't really have to, but I did. I thought that was really cool to hear. Oh, these guys are all going crazy. All the colonists and just kind of see what happened. I was like, oh, yeah, this planet's a big no no. So one of the coolest things about it is the whole solar eclipse thing, which is the whole Saros. You there's all these hands sticking out of this sort of like container. And you can go up and just touch it. And if you touch it, an eclipse
What
comes.
what container? What are you
It,
talking
it's
about?
like a, so in the game you can walk up to it, and there's just
Walk up to what?
hands like walk up to like these hands.
Like what do you mean, in the ground, or what are you
Oh
talking
yeah,
about?
like in the ground, and it's like a little thing you can
Like how
interact
big
with.
are
I
they?
guess they're not that big. They're not that big.
Okay,
I'll just look it up while I'm talking to you. If I could, I'm probably explaining it terribly, but you go up to it, interact with it, and it's like these little hands sticking out of like a sort of like a well or a pool a little bit.
sure.
And it's just a little thing you can interact with, like a chest in Ragnarok. You can interact with
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
but
yeah.
smaller, half that size. And then you grab one, and it's just a trippy ass little cutscene, and then you completely flip the world, and now there's a solar eclipse up. And during a solar eclipse, you don't have to do this, by the way, on a run. At first, you do because they show you it's through tutorial stuff, but you don't have to. But if you do, the enemies are stronger and they drop more money.
Of course. Okay, so
So
this is the
yeah,
way of making it more difficult.
and even I did that every time that it was a joke. Still,
Okay.
so so I did that every time, and I sort of just wiped everybody still. So they leave 3 different projectiles. They have blue, yellow, and red. Very simple. Blue you can kind of absorb with your shield, and that's how you can also shoot the stuff out of your arm. That's how you power that up. And yellow will cause corruption to your health bar. It is permanent health damage, and your whole bar goes yellow, and you cannot heal past that unless you cleanse it. How do you cleanse it? Is you shoot your power up through your arm.
I see.
That's how you can
Okay.
cleanse corruption. And then the red is completely unblockable, and you can't dash through it. You can dash through.
Dodge. You have to dodge
You
it.
have to completely dodge. Blue and yellow, you are allowed to dash through, though. All right. So you
Okay.
can do that. So after the second boss, you unlock modifiers. And this is where the game can get really cool. I think I told you about this yesterday. And this is where, so you can deal more damage, but then you have to balance it correctly, a modifier. You have negative ones and positive ones. So I put max damage on one of the little modifiers I did. And they're like, okay, well, you can't do this because you need to put a negative one on. Like, okay. But I take now a lot more damage. And they're like, okay, that's fine. You can do that. So that you can mess with all these different modifiers and see what you want. You can make the game hard as heck if you wanted to and just lock that in. So that's a variability, but I balanced it pretty well. I have it where corruption is the yellow orbs that hit you. I have that to where if I get hit once, half my health is gone. But then I also have it to where I get really good loot. So it just depends on what you're really looking for. I also had a modifier to where I can dash through the red orbs, which is huge. So I have that,
Okay.
and then I can then give myself then a debuff or a negative
Okay.
mod
So
to do
if
that. So
the story and gameplay is a little short, you can then kind of have each run be its own unique thing and play it differently every time. Is that
and
kind
then
of what
use
I'm hearing?
obviously the different guns. Yeah, but I will
Sure.
say after the 15 hours, it's already getting a little stale now. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm done. I'm good.
So it was
Oh,
really good for that time, but
yeah,
now
and that's
it's
it.
over. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, there's not a whole lot to it, but the stories it's good enough.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's really tough to also do a story around a roguelite, right? To
Yeah,
be
it's
like and
always
to write
tricky
it.
because then it has to make sense with the story and the lore, and that can always be a little funky.
Yeah.
This is a pretty niche genre. They don't really release games like this very often.
No, it's all about sort of you do what you want to do, which I
Yeah.
do like as well. And they have accessibility stuff. So if you suck, and I'll
Mhm.
get to if you do suck, it's a problem, and I'll get to that, then you can put on unlimited modifiers, positive ones.
To make it
Like you
easier.
to make it as easy as possible. So you can deal 100% more damage, take half the damage if you suck. And you're like, "Oh, but I can just keep dying and I'll keep upgrading." Sure. However, with each upgrade, if you keep upgrading up, there is a lock where you have to defeat the boss to get to the next part. So if
Okay.
you have upgraded everything and you still can't do it, well, that's a bit of a problem. Then you
Okay.
can't continue the game. So that's why they have that. Now, again, I defeated the last boss and I probably got 60% of upgrades. I was in. And I was like,
Interesting.
oh, okay.
Yeah, the game
But
is easy.
yeah. And also, if you're excited, I can just start from the beginning and go on a run to accumulate power. And that's what I did. So I went on an hour. I did an hour, went through 3 or 4 biomes. And then I got to the boss and I had incredible stuff if you can't
Nice.
do it. So
Okay.
that's also another way to do that, to build up stuff. So it's just really fluid. There's really cool traversal things you can do as well. At first, you can't really explore anything, and then you can get a super jump, right? And
Yeah,
then you
man,
can
I'm
get
looking at
a
this
zip
gameplay.
line.
It looks like a combination of Doom, Elden Ring, and Mass Effect in one.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
kind of looks like Mass Effect a bit. And the enemies are kind of a little Doomish, but more
Sure.
alien than
Yeah.
demons.
And some of them will f you up. Some of the overlords,
Sure.
the overlords of the bosses, they're really cool designs, and they have 3 health bars, most of them. So there's 3 phases, and that's where it can get tough. So you can get drops as well, like health drops, and then you can increase those and increase what that does as well. So all this is doable to you. And then, like I said, there's artifacts as well, which I told you are the buffs, not the modifiers before you start a run, but during your run, you can get modifiers. Like I found one of the best ones in the game is I get full immunity after I get a kill of taking damage.
Okay.
So if you keep killing everything, you don't take any damage. So
Oh,
it's
dude,
pretty
that's almost
crazy.
that's almost like a cheat code.
Yeah. So it's pretty crazy. So you could just build these entire awesome loadouts, and yeah. So, but it's not too much to where you're like, oh, it's overwhelming. No, it's the perfect amount.
Sure.
And so I'm just about to beat the epilogue, and I really enjoyed it, man. I really did. I mean, looking at the
Nice.
gameplay, I didn't have one bug, one issue, nothing.
It sounds like a game. It's short and sweet.
Yeah, yep. And $70, I know it's a bit steep, but I don't know. People go out, spend stuff on ridiculous stuff all the time. It's 20 hours,
Hey,
you'll spend 20 hours on it.
If it's worth it to you, it's worth it to you.
Yeah,
You know,
and again,
so
I don't like these sort of games. I don't. And I was like, this is awesome. I really like this one a lot. Yeah, and it did well. The reviews were good. People really liked it.
Talking about it, yeah.
It's truly, it's brilliant. So a solid 9 for me. I just think they did everything they could with a roguelite that they could have done without going too complicated and frustrating. I would much rather have a roguelite be too easy than too hard. If I'm sitting there doing over and over and over again on all the bosses, that's unbelievably frustrating. Right? So
I don't know. Yeah, I guess you're right.
With a game like this, yeah, people would give up very quickly. I'd much rather have it.
There are people who love hard games.
Sure.
There's a genre for that.
So I won't say I'd give this.
What they weren't going for.
So out of difficulty, I'd give it a 4 out of 10.
Oh yeah, that's pretty easy.
Yeah, it's pretty easy. And so like Neo was probably like a 6, Neo 3 that I just did. I'd say Ragnarok on the second hardest difficulty was probably a 7.
Okay.
And then, I mean, Elden Ring was probably a 7 or an 8, probably.
Yeah.
And then, right. Yeah, so that's in comparison. You're like, ugh, right? Also, Doom: The Dark Ages though was easy. It was easy.
Yeah.
Also, let's talk about that for 2 seconds though. That game was 10 hours. I played on the second hardest difficulty all the way through. It took me 10 hours. I beat it in 4 days. Never played it again.
Yeah. Dude, it's amazing though.
Yeah. God, so it's the same sort of vibe as this, but yeah, I really liked it, dude. I think I hit everything. Everything. It was perfect. I don't know if you have anything else, but it was great.
No, I mean I haven't played it, so it's interesting to watch this gameplay while talking to you about it because it kind of makes a bit more sense.
Yeah, yeah. So, but that's it. I mean, I would very recommend it. If you're on the fence like you are, I would recommend a sale. Not that much of a sale. I say $40 or $50 is absolutely worth it.
I'd pay $40 for this.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm excited. I hope you do. Yeah.
All right. Well, we can call it there. That was great, Ben.
Yep. Yes, sir. All right, y'all. Catch you guys.
See ya.